was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay at home with my kids and I'm going to start this hustle life. I'm going to be a mother hustler, honey. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you for being here with me, and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, like, comment below, and hit that bell so you can get notified of the next time that I upload a video. So today I just want to tell the story about how I basically became a stay-at-home single mom by force. It's something that I always wanted to do, but you know how you just don't have the courage to step out and do the things that you want to do, but sometimes life kind of forces you into them. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about that today. I was working in an investment banking firm, and I had 3 little ones. 3 children under the age of 3, all at the same time. And you can imagine what my childcare bill was. The daycare was very expensive. It cost nearly as much as I made. But one day, I was just doing my normal day's routine. I was at work working, and it was time for me to go on my lunch break. And so I decided to just go run and stop by my daughter's daycare, by the kids' daycare. And, you know, just to check on them, sit with them for a little bit, and then just eat a quick lunch in the car. I get there to the daycare, go in my daughter's classroom. I see 3 teachers in the classroom, and they're sitting there just chatting it up and talking to each other. And I go and I see that my daughter is in her crib, right? And I go to her crib, and her entire head is wrapped in a blanket. Like, her entire head is wrapped in a blanket. And I'm like, what is going on? I unwrap her, and she is so red, y'all. I'm talking about, she is so red and sweating and so hot. Like, y'all, I can't even imagine. But imagine how I felt in that moment, seeing my child like that. And so I turned around and I was like, why is she wrapped up like this? Why is a freaking blanket even in the bed with her? Because she's an infant at this time. She's a baby. She's under 1 year old. And so all 3 of them who were sitting there just chatting it up were just looking dumbfounded, looking around at each other like, and I'm just mortified, you guys. So I leave her. I don't know what it was. I leave her there. One of the girls run over to get her, and I storm out of the room and go up to the front desk and talk to the owners. I had a pretty great relationship with the owners of the daycare, and I went out and I let them have it in the nicest professional read I could give them. First of all, an infant child shouldn't even have a blanket in their crib according to DCF standards. Like, I just let them, oh my God, they were mortified. They got up, they were all running in there. And you guys, I don't even think you know what it took for me to leave my child there and go back to work, but I had to. I was a single mother of 3 small kids and adolescent at the time. I think my son was probably 8 or 9 years old. I cried all the way back to work. I just cried. My feelings were so hurt. I couldn't believe I was leaving my daughter there. Just so many feelings and so many emotions ran through me. Man, I got back to work and I just was sick to my stomach, and I literally couldn't even focus on my work. I went and picked my kids up later on that day, and I got home and I was just like, I just cannot imagine if I wouldn't have walked in that day on her lunch break and on my lunch break, and it was fairly new. They were fairly new to that daycare because I was kind of just back to work. I hadn't gone on my lunch break to check on them yet. That was like the first time I had done that. And imagine if I hadn't done that. And so I was just sick about it, you guys. There was just something that would not allow me to settle from that situation. Needless to say, I end up leaving that job at the investment banking firm, and I was without work for a couple of months. It was just something about that just shook me to my core. So I was out of work for a few months or whatever. I was home with the babies until they got a little bit older. The girls were maybe, I want to say they were about 10 months, 11 months, before I was like, okay, you know, I can't keep draining my savings. You know, how am I going to be able to be with my kids but still make income? And so that's when I decided to kind of start dabbling with looking into, you know, just side hustles and side gigs and what can I do to make this money. You know, when light bill was due and I didn't have it, like, okay, what can I do? You know, and so I kind of started doing that thing until it just got to the point where it's like, okay, look, I can't sustain on this alone, or the things that I knew at the time, I couldn't sustain on those. So I was like, okay, God, I need a job. What am I going to do? I cannot bear to like drop my kids anywhere and walk in on a situation like that anymore. Like, what would you have me do? So one day I was on my way to the store and something just said, keep riding, keep driving. And so I kept driving just down the street. I was fairly new to the area I lived in as well. I had just moved there, actually. It had only been a few months. And I kept driving down this road and I came to a daycare center. Hey, I didn't even know they were hiring. I don't know why I was there. My background was in banking. Why am I at, you know, child care center asking about work? So anyway, left, and I end up coming back just like she told me to do, to speak with the director. I spoke with her. We had an amazing conversation. We talked. I told her my situation and she just was everything. She was everything. I could literally feel her heart in our casual interview. And so needless to say, she hired me on the spot. And I was like, what am I, like, I'm going to do this? Like, I had never done that before. I had experience working in the child care center at my church. But, you know, no formal child care experience or whatever. And so she hired me and I was able to bring my kids to work with me at the child care center. And it was just like the perfect situation. My boss was amazing. I love the kids. I could bring my kids to work with me. It was just an ideal situation. It was so ideal. And then, you know, years went by, year, I was there a year, then I was there 2 years, and at that point, I had started to just become unfulfilled. At the beginning, when I first started working there, I knew I couldn't sustain on that income, because clearly it was a drastic pay decrease from what I was used to, but I just wasn't willing to put my kid back in a place to where I couldn't watch them or see them. Or I just wasn't willing to do that. I'm like, no, I just can't. So I had started telecommuting for a large retailer on the side. So I would go to work there, get home maybe about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then at night from 6 to 10, I would work from home for this large retailer. And so I did that for a few months, and then I was like, you know what? I want to finally start this blog. I had been wanting to start this blog for a very long time. I was in a very unique mothering situation that I just felt like I had to be the only one in America going through. And so I just kind of wanted to put those feelings out there. And so I had started the blog 2 years, maybe 2.5 years into my job. I was just feeling a little bit unfulfilled and just having these feelings of, okay, how long am I going to be doing this? What is the plan? You know, because I came here with kind of no plan except for just to be able to keep eye on my daughter, you know, on my kids, right? And so I was like, what is the plan? I'm feeling unfulfilled, you know, just, you know how you just get that feeling like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I here? Even though my boss was amazing, I loved the kids, it was no complaints about the job itself. It was just a space I was in life, like, okay, what is going on? And so I was having these feelings. It was something that I continued to pray about. And then one day, my boss kind of came to me and said that the state had came in and that I didn't have the proper certification in order to be there. So she needed me to go and take this test and, you know, do all this so that I could get the proper credentials to actually be there, right? And so I was cool with that. I was like, okay, you know, I've done the basics, but there was this one major certification that I needed to go and get. The week before I needed to take this test, I was in my classroom with my kids, minding my own business, and my daughter's class was out on the playground. And I was just, you know, walking through my class, talking to my kids, and I look out on the playground. I look out at the playground and I notice my daughter's just running around or whatever. And her teacher is trying to get her to go stand to the wall or something like that with the other kids. She was trying to count them or something like that. And it was a substitute teacher, so not a regular teacher that was in there, but one of the other teachers that worked there was filling in for somebody. And so my daughter went to go and run. And I saw this teacher grab my child, jack her up to go and put her in the line where she wanted her to be. You know I lost it. I went out there and I was like, oh, this is not what you want today. You got the wrong one, honey. And the thing is, me and the girl was super cool and she knew how crazy I was about my kids. She knew how I would pop off about my kids. And so somebody I was super cool with almost had to get it. So I was just like, what is really going on, God? What is really going on? Like, I cannot do this. Clearly the director had to come, the assistant director. I was like, y'all better get her, because not mine. Not mine. And then the thing was, you know how when you kind of know somebody's history, when their history precedes them and you kind of know how they get down. So I had that in the back of my head about her already. And I was just like, oh no, baby, not this one. Not this one. So I ended up leaving work that day and I went home and I had to pray. Okay, I was like, okay, God, this is the second time something has happened to one of my children that I did not appreciate at a daycare. And a daycare where I work and they know how I am. Please tell me, show me, Lord, listen, okay? I really need you to come through and let me know what you are trying to tell me. What is going on? What is happening? What is happening? Like, I don't know what's happening. And that's when I prayed on that thing, because that happens on a Thursday. I went back to work on that Friday and I just was not even there. Not even myself. Just not myself. I was just all in my head and thinking about my life, and I needed to make some huge decisions. I needed to make some huge decisions with my life. My boss talked to me when I was getting ready to leave, making sure that we were good for me to go to the test on that Saturday. And I was like, yeah, we're good to go to the test and everything. And needless to say, I missed the test. I missed the test that Saturday morning. But you know what? I took that as, you know, God trying to show me something and tell me that it was okay for me to go ahead and step out on faith and go ahead and do something and put in the work for myself. I was already telecommuting in the evening and weekends. I already had the blog going and established. I wasn't monetizing it yet. So I had faith in myself that I could supplement that I could replace that income. It wasn't a huge amount of money, you know, but it was still a scary thing to be missing such a chunk of your income that you had depended on. So needless to say, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay at home with my kids and I'm going to start this hustle life. I'm going to be a mother hustler, honey, because I just cannot. I need to be with my children. And I just can't do it anymore. And I just took a leap of faith, and here I am. And it's been a year. It's a year later. April 1st is when of 2017 is when all of that occurred. And I made the decision to just step out on faith and do it on my own, do it for myself, make a living for myself. And I'm still here. I'm still standing. Bills are paid. I'm still under the same roof. I'm still driving the same whip, same phone number, same phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, things are still good. It gets hard and it's unpredictable. And there are months where you're just like, okay, you know, but you get it done. And it's worth it to me to be here with my kids and be able to just spend the time with them and spend these precious years with them that you just don't get back. And I know everybody doesn't have the opportunity to do that, but I just believe that you can stay home and be home with your children and still make income on the side and be all right. You know? And so, yeah, that's my story about how I became a stay-at-home single mom. If this resonated with you at all, please, please, please comment below. Share your stories with me. Let me know if you have any experiences like that or anything that, you know, you related to in this video. And as usual, like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell and get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for being here with me, you guys. See you in the next one.